Hey guys, in this video I wanted to talk about emotions and how you can connect more fully to your emotions, especially if you're feeling numb. So I think a lot of people have experienced feeling numb to their emotions. There are others who, may think that, I've just always been like this. And, I think there are certain people that are more predisposed to being less sensitive, and there are some people that are definitely more sensitive. But that being said, I think that all of us, or a lot of us in our childhood, have experienced things that taught us that our feelings, or at least expressing our feelings, is not appropriate. We've been taught from a young age that our emotions are something that it's not okay to have them, that sometimes we were punished for having them. So what that teaches us is that we can't trust our own authentic experience, that we can't trust what we're feeling, and kind of puts us in this disconnect of, well, what's real then? Like, my body's telling me this, but others are telling me that that's wrong. So we were taught that in order to be loved and accepted by our parents or caregivers or anybody else around us when we were kids, we had to push our feelings down. We had to repress them or just sever our connection to them completely. And then we kind of lose touch with them, and then we can't read them because I feel like they're always there. It's just we have lost the ability to perceive them. We learned that we can't trust others, we can't trust ourselves, and feeling and expressing emotion will lead to rejection. So learning how to cope with this will look different in different people. On the one hand, you could have people that will be looking to others to be the authority because they have repressed their emotions so much and looked to others to tell them what's the right way to feel or what the right decision to make is based on other people's feelings. They're not going to trust their authority so much, and they're going to look to others to make their decision for them. And they might feel really isolated in their emotions. Like, they could be very sensitive people and have strong emotions, just they're not going to really show them so much because they have been rejected in the past because of strong emotions. These are people pleasers. On the other hand, some people might want to exert more control over their external environment to make sure that they aren't rejected, and they might also hide their emotions. But they might have also cut themselves off from their emotions so completely that they're not able to perceive what they're feeling at all. So they were rejected for showing emotion, so therefore now they don't feel emotions. They just numbed them to such a level that they can't feel them. They can't have access to them. And all of these things are because we were taught these beliefs that we are irrational for having emotions, that we're weak. And it would be irrational not to consider your emotions. We have to recognize that all of these old beliefs that we have are actually controlling us. We aren't in a position of control when we are repressing our emotions, or we can't feel our emotions. That is society controlling us through these instilled negative beliefs around having feelings. And it is not a sign of weakness, it's just a sign of being human. So we kind of have to change these beliefs a little bit, but first we have to know what we actually believe in the first place. So just really think about where these beliefs came from. Who was the first person that taught you feeling sad is wrong? That showing some anger is wrong? That it's weak to cry? Like, where were those first lessons? Whose beliefs are those actually? Because a lot of the times they aren't really true, and they came from something else. They came from someone else. There's something that we were taught, so we can unlearn them. I've done this a lot. I write down all my old beliefs and kind of detangle them from my brain and figure out what made me think this. What else do I think? Where did this come from? Who is actually saying this in my brain? Then realize that these are coping mechanisms that we've learned, and they were only there to protect us from feeling pain. Now that we can recognize that, we know that we don't need them to protect us anymore because, we got this. So we can just say to ourselves, like, okay, I recognize that this is what I do because of these old beliefs, and I was only doing this to protect myself, but now I don't need this anymore. So you can say, goodbye, I don't need this, and just kind of release your resistance. It feels scary at first to have these feelings that you don't want to feel, but I promise you it's not. It's really not scary. You just You have to surrender to it, and then it dissipates pretty quickly once you actually fully feel the feeling, recognize where it's coming from, integrate its logic, whatever you got to do, whatever you need to say, it will dissipate. But if you really can't feel your feelings, then something helpful to do might be to kind of scan your body for any physical sensations that you're having and really try to describe it. So a lot of people will have like a tightness in their chest or like butterflies in their stomach. And once you start really describing the physical sensation that's happening in these certain places in the body, then you'll start to see that there may be emotions attached to it, because emotions they really start from physical sensations in the body. You know, we tend to get very numb to them, especially if they're there all the time. If you have like a baseline of anxiety and you just go through life like you have anxiety all the time, you might not even notice that it's there. But if you just a couple times a day just stop whatever you're doing, take a little break, even if you want to put like a timer on your phone to remind yourself to do this like a couple times a day. So you can go to your chest and be like, oh, I have a heaviness like in my chest area. And then pretty soon you'll be able to feel like, oh, this is sadness. And you know, with some practice you might even be able to get more specific. You're like, yeah, it's sadness, but like more specifically this feels like loneliness. And it'll become easier to you to kind of perceive the emotions because they're there. It's just our perception that has been dulled because we've been repressing it for so long, trying to protect ourselves. So yeah, let me know in the comments, maybe the way that you show up in the world with regard to your emotions. Like if you're a person that kind of cuts yourself off from them, that is numb, you can't feel them, or if you're someone that is just isolated and hides their emotions. Like there's so many different ways that we've kind of interpreted these old beliefs and these lessons that we've learned as kids. And yeah, let me know if these techniques help for you, like sorting out the old beliefs and the body scan meditation thing. But yeah, if you really keep that up, you're just going to get better and better at kind of trying to figure out what your feelings are trying to tell you. And I think that's it. Yeah. So like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you next week. Bye.